And welcome everyone to an America East chat. I'm Andy Katz. We're joined by Chris Markwood, the head coach of the University of Maine. Won four in a row. All we had to do was just, be patient, and it was going to happen. You were going to turn this thing around, and it is happening in a big matchup coming up against Lowell. How you doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's happening. We're doing it with great young men, that work extremely hard, that are really bought into what we're trying to do here at Maine, really embracing what we're about. And I got a tremendous staff behind me and with me that's just, done a great job evaluating talent and helping me implement what we're trying to do with our program. So it always starts with people. And, I feel very fortunate and lucky to have the people that we have here in this program.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no reason that Lowell could turn it around. That, Vermont, prior to that game against Syracuse in that year, they were in sort of an abyss for a long time. Obviously, Bryant just now comes on the scene. There are so many programs that were nowhere and now suddenly are competing at the top. There was no reason that Maine couldn't do the same.
Yeah.
Uh, what, in terms of your blueprint, how
Yeah.
are you following it thus far to get to where you guys are right in the thick of this race here, a couple of weeks into January?
Yeah, I mean, I think first, like I said, I can't stress it enough. To me, it's been about, getting the right people on board, and that comes down to character first and foremost. It comes down to work ethic, obviously. But then, excuse me, but then on top of that, obviously, putting together a roster that fits, skill set wise, athletically, how we're trying to play. And I think in year three, I've really, really been lucky and fortunate the first 2 years with the groups that we had that kind of helped get us to this point. And I think in year three, just naturally, we have in totality a roster that I think fits really well together. Skill wise, just the pieces in general, and they're really complementing one another. And there's still a lot of work left to do. We're still very early in the conference season, but I think the ceiling on this group, there's still a lot of room for growth, which is exciting. And, as you said, we got a big test against a big time opponent here on Thursday, and we'll kind of see where we're at.
So, in terms of putting this roster together in an era where, plenty of players are moving either laterally or up, you're dealing with NIL, what were some of the key things that you did to maintain it, to put together a roster that could compete for an America East title?
Yeah, I mean, I think it started early. Our first year, we were really fortunate. If you look at our two starting guards that we have right now, they came on board our first year. When I first got the job, they were our first two signees. Kellen Tynes and Jaden Clayton have kind of been the drivers of our bus, so to speak, here all 3 years, just as guys that are very much calming influences, have really high IQ, are two-way players, great offensive players and generators, make the game easy for others on the offensive end, but also, you know, can really guard the ball and are really good in our system defensively. So it starts with them and, we've been able to keep guys like that too. I mean, they've been here, they're in their third year, so they're comfortable in what we're doing. And, as, in a traditional sense, your best basketball is your third and fourth year in the program. And nowadays in this landscape, it's hard to keep guys for that long. But, with those two guys specifically, as well as some others, we got some second year transfers, some guys that were with us last year and played key roles, AJ Lopez and Keon Burns that have stepped into bigger roles this year. They have a really good, much better understanding of our system on both sides. They're both playing really good basketball, and then we've added some other guys that, a guy like Chris Mantis who's come in and gave us a huge lift. He's coming from App State, one of the better mid-major programs in the country last year, has been around winning, fits what we're trying to do skill and IQ wise offensively, and is just really versatile on both sides of the ball. And same thing, we brought in two new transfers at the five spot as well and then we had a freshman. Well, he's a junior now, but he hasn't played for 2 years in Keelan Steele, so he's a freshman basketball wise. So we got kind of a three-headed monster at the five spot that we really love all three of those guys. They have similarities, but they bring different things to the table too. So, and then we got some role players off the bench too that are stepping in, some younger guys. So, we've kind of done it through a mixture of, high school kids, transfers, and then hopefully, trying to keep your better players as best as you can. We lost a couple guys. Well, we lost some guys to graduation last year, but Peter Filipovich, who was tremendous for us our first 2 years, is at New Mexico State right now and having a good year. We did lose him but we were able to kind of keep five out of our top six or six out of our top seven, which has really helped too.
One of the, correct me if I'm wrong, one of maybe the positive things of being at a school that's a little more remote is the community. Like, this is the main thing.
Yeah,
And they want it to be successful. They want to go because it's entertainment in this era where you need support more than ever. How much has
yeah.
that played into really sort of tapping that this is their team, this is the community's team, and if you want it to be successful, you kind of have to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely growing. I think there is a buzz around our program. We still have a lot of work to do with that. And, I've said from day one that, as long as we do our jobs, my job as a head coach, our job as a staff, our job as a team, if we go out there and put a product on the court that this community can get behind and is proud of, they're going to show out. And they've done it in every other sport on our campus that has done exactly what I just said, whether it's women's basketball, hockey, football, all those programs here. Baseball has been really good here too. There's been a lot of sports that have had success here, and the community's really got behind it. And we've seen that grow each year that we've been here. And a lot of people don't know, just because it's on the big landscape of basketball. Like, people don't understand. Like, Maine is a basketball state. Like, when you come up here, it's a small population, but if you were to kind of poll the state population, they would say basketball is the number one sport, and that has a lot to do with our high school basketball scene, and the state tournament here is really unique. And so, I do think, as a Mainer, someone that's been around high school basketball in this state, I kind of know that, like, and I've known, and a big reason why I wanted the job was I just felt like if we could build something here, that the people would really jump on board and want to be a part of it and support it. And, we just got to keep doing our job. We still have a lot of work left to do, but excited to kind of see where that could go, and really get a following behind these guys.
Well, big one coming up against Lowell. We'll be tracking that, obviously, and hope to talk to you here soon as we get closer and closer to working out some seeds, as we get to the America East tournament. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you very much, Andy. Appreciate it.